Going to wrap up this unit circle. So remember what I've done so far is I have highlighted the X and Y axis in blue, and I have highlighted the quarter marks in pink. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put it in sixes. Just checking where we left off. Okay, I am going to grab a green highlighter, and I am going to highlight the rest of the lines. The rest of the lines are sixes. Okay, now remember, when I count these green lines, which are sixes, I'm always including the X and Y axis. When I count the pink lines, which are quarters, I'm always counting the X and Y axis. Okay, so here's the deal about sixes. So this is going to go up 1/6 of the circumference, so this is pi over 6. And every movement of 1/6 is a movement of 30 degrees. Every sixth movement is a 30-degree movement. So here's 1/6. Here's 2 over 6 right here. But don't write 2 over 6 because you can simplify that fraction. 2 over 6 is pi over 3. And then that's going to be 30 plus 30, so that's a 60-degree movement. And we'll fill in the ordered pairs at the end. So there's 1 over 6. There's 2 over 6. Here's 3 over 6. You already have it. This is going to be 4 over 6, but simplify your fraction. 4 over 6 is 2 pi over 3. Now remember, if this is 90 degrees and your sixes are 30-degree movements, then 90 plus 30 is 120. So remember that 2 over 3, that was 4 over 6. So if that's 4 over 6, this is 5 over 6. 5 pi over 6. We increased 30 degrees from the 120, so this is 150. 150 plus 30 degrees we already have. Remember, this was 5 pi over 6. This is 6 over 6. You already have it. So this is going to be 7 pi over 6. And 180 plus 30 degrees is 210 degrees. Hop over the pink line, 7 over 6. This is going to be 8 over 6, but you have to simplify it. 8 over 6 is 4 pi over 3. And 210 plus 30 is 240 degrees. Plus one more 6 would take us to 9 over 6, which is 3 halves. So if that's 9 over 6, then this is 10 over 6, but you need to simplify it. So 10 over 6 is 5 pi over 3. 270 plus 30 degrees is an even 300. 5 pi over 6, this is, that was 10 pi over 6. This is 11 pi over 6. 300 plus 30 is 330. Okay, here's the important part to make this easy to remember, the ordered pairs. Everything that ends in a 6, always starts with root 3 over 2. And that is so easy to remember if you just look at the numbers, ignore the symbols around it. Look at the numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. That is always the first ordered pair. Root 3 over 2 is always grouped with 1/2. Those are always going in pairs. That's the ordered pair for that. Where's another one that ends in a 6? Over here. Same thing. If that ends in a 6, the first one's root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2 is always paired with 1/2. But guys, you're in the second quadrant. Which one's negative? The x. Good. So put a negative in front of that. Where's another 6? Here's a 6. 7 pi over 6. 7 pi over 6 is going to always start with root 3 over 2 and then 1/2. And guys, in the third quadrant, everything's negative. Where's another 6? Right here. Second to last one. So 11 pi over 6 always starts with root 3 over 2 and then 1/2. But remember, only the y value is negative there. Now, for the ones that end in a 3. For the ones that end in a 3, like this. I know it starts with 1 over 2. Oh, y'all can't see that. I know it starts with 1 over 2 because 1 plus 2 is 3. Anything that ends in a 3 always starts with a 1/2. And 1/2 is always paired with root 3 over 2. Where else does something end in a 3? Right here. That's 1/2. Root 3 over 2. But 1/2 is negative. Where's another 3? Right here. 1/2 is first. Root 3 over 2 is next. And they're both negative. Here's another 3. Starts with a 1/2. Root 3 over 2. Only the y value is negative. And then that's it. That's your unit circle.